My wife said, "You were sleeping on the couch until you apologize." I didn't. A week later, I caught her cheating, so I changed the locks and let her sleep outside. I should have known something was off when my wife started picking fights over nothing. My name's Jonah, 32, operations manager at a regional distribution center. Basically, I make sure thousands of packages get where they need to go without the whole system imploding. It's high stress, high stakes work. One wrong call can cost millions. Maya and I have been married 5 years. She's 30, runs a salon downtown, well, manages it now. When we met, she was cutting hair in a strip mall, talking big about opening her own place someday. I believed in her dreams. Helped her get there, actually. Covered rent when her clients were slow, co-signed the business loan when she expanded, celebrated every milestone like it was my own. But lately? Everything I do P-word her off. Last month, her salon hit its 5-year anniversary. Big party, champagne, the works. I was supposed to be there. Had my suit ready, gift wrapped, a vintage gold scissors set she'd been eyeing for months. Then my phone exploded. Our biggest client's shipment went sideways. GPS showed 3 trucks heading to Phoenix instead of Philadelphia. Driver dispatch system crashed. If I didn't fix it immediately, we'd lose the contract and probably a dozen jobs. I called Maya, explained the situation. Dead silence. Then, "You're really doing this? On my night?" "Baby, it's $3 million worth of cargo." She hung up. I spent 6 hours rerouting trucks, negotiating with angry clients, saving everyone's back. Got home at 2 a.m. to find Maya sitting in the dark living room, still in her party dress. "You embarrassed me," she said, voice flat. Everyone kept asking where my supportive husband was. I saved my company from disaster. "You chose work over me." "I chose keeping my job over a party." She stood up, smoothed her dress. "Sleep on the couch until you're ready to apologize." I looked her straight in the eye. "I'm not apologizing for doing my job." "Then enjoy the couch." I walked past her to our bedroom, got into bed, and turned off the lamp. I heard her sharp intake of breath, the slam of the guest room door. But I didn't move. I don't apologize for things I don't regret. Never have, never will. That was a week ago. Since then, we've been living like roommates who hate each other. She leaves before I wake up, comes home after dinner. When we pass in the hallway, she looks through me like I'm furniture. Fine by me. I've got supply chains to optimize, routes to plan. I don't have time for this manufactured drama. But I started noticing things. Maya's schedule used to be predictable. Salon opens at 9, closes at 7, she'd be home by 8. Now? She's leaving at 7:30 in the morning, not getting back until 10, sometimes 11. Inventory, she says. Client consultations. Staff meetings. Her phone's always face down now. She takes calls in the bathroom, water running. She changed her passcode. I only noticed because she used to have me check her texts while she drove. Small things. Things a husband's not supposed to notice, maybe. Yesterday, she came home with her hair different. Not drastically, just fresher. Like she'd had someone style it. Which is weird because she usually does her own hair. When I mentioned it, she snapped, "Why do you suddenly care about my appearance?" I didn't answer. Just filed it away like I do with irregular shipping patterns at work. Data points. Anomalies. Trends. This morning, she was rushing around more than usual. Knocked over her coffee in her hurry to leave. While she grabbed paper towels, mumbling about being late, I noticed her phone on the counter. Still unlocked. I wasn't going to look. That's not who I am. But then it lit up. Text preview right there on the screen. "Can't wait to see you again today, kissing face emoji." From someone named Diego. My wife doesn't have any clients named Diego. I'd remember that name, I remember everything. It's what makes me good at my job. Details. Patterns. Inconsistencies. She snatched the phone, shoved it in her purse, and left without saying goodbye. Didn't even clean up all the coffee. I stood there, staring at the brown puddle on our marble countertop, and thought about that emoji. That little purple heart with a kiss. Who the hell is Diego? I cleaned up the coffee and went to work like nothing happened. That's the thing about managing logistics, you learn to compartmentalize. Truck breaks down in Nevada while another jackknifes in Ohio? Handle them separately, systematically. No panic. No rushed decisions. Just cold, clean analysis. Diego. I ran the name through my head during the morning meeting. While reviewing shipping manifests. During lunch. Diego. I didn't confront Maya. Didn't text her asking who Diego was. That's amateur hour. You don't show your cards until you know what game you're playing. Instead, I did what I do best. I gathered data. Started simple. Drove past Maya's salon during my lunch break. Nothing unusual. Her white Lexus in its usual spot. But there was a truck I didn't recognize. Dark blue Ford F-250, commercial plates. Morales Landscaping painted on the side in green letters. Morales. Diego Morales, maybe? I sat in my car across the street, eating a sandwich, watching. The salon's front garden did look freshly mulched. New flowers. Trimmed hedges. Since when did Maya care about landscaping? She once destroyed a cactus I bought her. At 2 p.m., a man walked out. Late 30s, built like he actually used those muscles for work. Dark hair, confident walk. He went to the Ford, grabbed some tools, then walked back inside. The salon closes for lunch from 2 to 3 on Tuesdays. Always has. Maya instituted it so her stylist could have a proper break. But Diego's truck stayed there until 3:45. That's a long lunch break for landscaping. I drove back to work, finished my day. Normal. Calm. But I started a new spreadsheet on my personal laptop. Date, time, location, observations. The same way I track shipping anomalies. Wednesday, Diego's truck at the salon from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Thursday, 12 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., then back at 5 p.m. until close. A landscaper doesn't need to be at a small salon 12 hours a week. The math didn't work. Unless he was maintaining something other than plants. The next Tuesday came. I called in sick for the afternoon, first time in 3 years. My supervisor was shocked. You sure you're okay, Jonah? This isn't like you. Just need a few hours. I'll log in tonight to check the Memphis route. I parked 3 blocks from the salon at 1:45 p.m. Watched Maya's Lexus pull out at 2:10. Diego's Ford followed 2 minutes later. They drove separately, carefully. Not following too close. Taking different turns but heading the same direction. Professional. Like they'd done this before. They ended up at the Moonlight Inn off Highway 47. The kind of place that rents rooms by the hour and doesn't ask questions. The kind of place with water stains on the ceiling and a clerk who's seen everything. I parked across the street at a gas station, walked into the motel lobby. The front desk guy, name tag said Ramon, didn't even look up from his phone. The lobby smelled like old cigarettes and broken dreams. Through the smudged window, I had a clear view of the courtyard. Room 106. I watched Diego unlock the door, Maya slip inside. The curtains were already drawn. I stood there for 10 minutes. 15. 20. Then I took out my phone. Started recording. At 3:47 p.m., the door opened. Maya came out first, adjusting her skirt, hair messed up in a way no salon appointment would cause. She was laughing. Actually laughing. When's the last time she laughed with me? Diego followed, tucking his shirt in, grabbing her waist, pulling her close. They kissed against the doorframe. Not a quick peck. The kind of kiss we used to share before everything became about her salon and my work. I kept recording. Steady hands. Clear footage. 4K resolution. They finally separated, walked to their vehicles. Maya checked her phone, typed something, probably telling her staff she was running late from errands. Diego slapped her back as she got in her car. She giggled like a teenager. I stopped recording. Walked back through the lobby. Ramon still hadn't looked up. Drove back to work. Logged into the Memphis route system. Optimized 3 delivery patterns. Business as usual. That night, Maya came home at 9. Showered immediately, said she felt gross from all the hair products. Made herself a salad, sat across from me at the dining table, scrolling through Instagram. Her purse was on the counter. While she went to grab dressing from the fridge, I saw it, the edge of another phone peeking out from the inside pocket. A second phone. I waited until Maya went to shower before I made my move. The second phone was a cheap Samsung, hidden under her wallet and makeup bag. Password protected, but she'd used her birth date, amateur move. The woman who changed her main phone's passcode weekly didn't think I'd find this one. 3 months of messages. 3 months. Diego, can't stop thinking about yesterday. Maya, Me either. When can I see you again? Diego, Sophie is taking the kids to her mother's this weekend. Maya, perfect. Jonah will be working anyway. I scrolled back. Found the first message from December. Thank you for the quote on the landscaping. When can you start? Professional enough. Then 2 weeks later, you were right, the jasmine looks perfect there. Then, coffee was nice today. We should do it again. Then, I can't stop thinking about what you said. Then photos. Nothing explicit, but intimate. Her in a dress I'd never seen. Him shirtless after working in the garden. Selfies from restaurants I didn't know she'd been to. Inside jokes about some TV show they watched together. I took photos of everything with my own phone. Put hers back exactly where I found it. Maya came out in her pajamas, hair wrapped in a towel. Kissed my forehead, performative affection, keeping up appearances. Going to bed early. Long day tomorrow. Staff meeting? I asked. Yeah, the new color line training. I nodded. Checked my calendar. Called my locksmith friend, Garrett, who owed me a favor from when I helped him move his shop's inventory. Can you do a rush job tomorrow? Full lock replacement? Everything okay, Jonah? It will be. Wednesday. Maya left at 7:30 a.m. Garrett arrived at 8 a.m. New deadbolts, new handle, new keys. High security locks that can't be picked or bumped. He finished by noon. I took the day off. Packed Maya's things methodically. Clothes folded, not thrown. Jewelry in boxes, not bags. Photos in albums, not scattered. I'm not an animal. I'm precise. Controlled. Everything labeled, organized, placed in the basement storage unit. I even bubble wrapped her grandmother's vase. Changed every password. Netflix, Amazon, bank accounts, everything. Removed her as my emergency contact, beneficiary on my life insurance, authorized user on credit cards. Called my lawyer, started drafting separation papers. By 6 p.m., the apartment looked different. Cleaner. Lighter. Like I'd removed a toxin from the air. Maya's regular time to come home passed. 8 p.m. 9 p.m. 10 p.m. At 11:47 p.m., I heard heels in the hallway. The key sliding into the lock. The confused jiggle when it wouldn't turn. What the hell? More aggressive key turning. Then pounding. Jonah. The lock's broken. I sat on the couch, reading quarterly reports, volume low on the TV. Didn't move. Jonah. Open the door. Her phone started ringing. I could hear it through the door. She declined the call. Rang again. Declined again. I know you're in there. I can see the light. The pounding got louder. Mrs. Patterson from 4B opened her door, peeked out, then quickly retreated. Please. It's starting to rain. It was. I could hear it hitting the hallway window. Seattle rain, cold, persistent, unforgiving. Maya called me 15 times. Left 6 voicemails. I deleted them without listening. Around 1 a.m., the pounding stopped. Through the peephole, I could see her sitting against the door, knees pulled to her chest. Her phone died. She'd worn a white blouse to work, to Diego, actually, and the rain from the partially open hallway window was soaking through. I made coffee. French press, the good stuff. Sat by the window and watched the city lights blur through raindrops. At 3 a.m., she was lying on the doormat, curled up like a cat. Her makeup had run, leaving dark streaks on her cheeks. The tough salon manager who bossed around 6 stylists, reduced to sleeping on concrete. I went to bed. Slept better than I had in months. Woke at 6:30 to voices in the hallway. Through the peephole, Maya's sister Nora, kneeling beside her, shaking her awake. What happened? Why are you out here? Maya sobbing, incoherent. Nora helping her stand, looking at my door with fury. Then the pounding resumed. Harder. Angrier. Jonah. Open this door right now. What kind of man leaves his wife in the hallway? I walked to the door, phone in hand. On the screen, one perfectly clear photo from the Moonlight Inn. Maya and Diego, kissing in the doorway of room 106. I opened the door. Nora's face went from rage to confusion to shock in about 3 seconds. What? What is this? Maya, still on the ground, saw the phone screen. Her whole body went rigid. That's your brother-in-law? I asked Nora, keeping my voice level. The kind who documents his wife's afternoon activities? Nora looked at Maya, then back at the photo, then at Maya again. Is this real? Maya stood up slowly, yesterday's clothes wrinkled and damp. Nora, it's not. It's from Tuesday, I said. Room 106, Moonlight Inn, 3:47 p.m. Would you like to see the video? Nora stepped back from Maya like she was contagious. You told me you were working late. You said Jonah was neglecting you. He was. He is. I turned the phone toward Maya. 3 months of messages with Diego Morales. Want me to read your favorite? The one where you called me a walking spreadsheet who wouldn't notice if you disappeared? Nora's hand went to her mouth. Mom's going too. Know everything by 7 a.m., I said. Helen deserves the truth about her perfect daughter. Maya lunged for my phone. I pulled it back, stepped inside my apartment. Your belongings are in storage unit B12. The combination is your real anniversary date, not the fake one you've been telling Diego. You can't do this. Already done. Now get away from my door before I call building security. I closed the door. Heard Nora's voice, sharp and disgusted. 3 months? 3 months? Their voices faded down the hall. I had work to do. I'd spent the previous evening preparing everything. Folder organized by recipient. Family folder, 6 photos, 2 videos, screenshots of the most damaging texts. Professional folder, fewer photos but clear evidence of time theft. She'd been billing the salon for client consultations during her motel visits. The Diego special, everything, including credit card records showing Maya had been paying for the rooms. At 6:45 a.m., I sat at my computer with my coffee. The email to Maya's family was already drafted. Subject line, information you deserve to know. Helen, Nora, and family, it began. I respect you too much to let you continue believing lies. No dramatics. No sob story. Just facts, evidence, timeline. Like a logistics report. Send. At 7:02, my phone rang. Helen. Jonah, dear God, is this real? Every word. She started crying. Not gentle tears, ugly, raw sobs. I raised her better than this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You didn't do this, Helen. I always told her she was lucky to have you. After you helped with the salon, supported her dreams. I need to go, Helen. Of course. We won't be speaking to her. You deserved better. The family group chat started exploding. I'd included Maya's cousins, the ones she always tried to impress. Her aunt who loaned her money for the salon. Her uncle who'd walked her down the aisle because her father passed. Screenshots started appearing in the chat. People responding with shock, disgust, disappointment. Maya's cousin Brittany, this is the marriage you bragged about? Phase 2 was scheduled for noon. Carla Bennett, regional director of the salon group. She'd been Maya's mentor, promoted her to manager, fought for her raises. She also enforced a strict morality clause. Any scandal that could damage the brand's reputation was grounds for termination. Diego's wife, Sophia, taught 10th grade English at Roosevelt High. Dedicated teacher, 2 kids, thought her husband was building their future with his growing business. At 11:30, I was in my office, finalizing a shipping route to Denver when my assistant knocked. Jonah? There's a woman here to see you. Says it's urgent. Maya Sinclair? Through the glass door, I could see Maya in the lobby. She'd cleaned up, full makeup, wearing the red dress she knew I liked. Diego stood behind her, trying to look intimidating in his work clothes. Should I call security? My assistant asked. No. Send them in. But stay close. They walked in like they owned the place. Maya's eyes were red-rimmed but determined. Diego sized me up like this was going to get physical. You need to stop this, Maya said. Whatever you're planning at noon, cancel it. I leaned back in my chair, checked my watch. 11:42. 18 minutes. You're going to delete everything? Diego said, stepping forward. Now. I looked at him the way I look at delayed shipments, minor inconvenience, easily handled. Or what? You'll landscape me to death? His jaw clenched. Maya put a hand on his arm, playing the mediator. The same hand that wore my ring while texting him hearts and kisses. Jonah, please. We can work this out like adults. Adults don't coordinate motel visits while their spouse optimizes supply chains. My coworkers were starting to notice. I could see them through the glass, pretending to work while watching the show. Good. Witnesses. You invaded my privacy, Maya said, voice rising. You stalked us. That's illegal. Public spaces. Your second phone was in our shared residence. Your lawyer, if Diego's wife leaves him one, can explain admissible evidence. Diego stepped closer. You think you're smart? I know I'm smart. You banged a married woman for 3 months and never noticed her husband tracking your patterns. You used the same motel, same room, same time frame every Tuesday. Amateur. That did it. Diego grabbed my collar. Perfect. Security. My assistant called out. Tom and Jerome from building security rushed in. Diego let go, hands up, but the damage was done. Strikes in front of witnesses. Another nail. Sir, we need you to leave, Tom said to Diego. This isn't over, Diego growled. Actually, I said, straightening my collar, in about 14 minutes, it will be. Maya's composure cracked. Jonah, I'll lose everything. My job, my reputation. Your choices. Your consequences. She dropped the strong act. Went for tears. We were happy once. Remember our wedding? Our first apartment? How can you throw away 5 years? I didn't. You did. Tuesday afternoons at the Moonlight Inn, specifically. You're heartless. No. I'm organized. My phone buzzed. 11:55. I pulled up the scheduled email to Carla Bennett. Showed Maya the screen. 5 minutes, please. She actually dropped to her knees. Right there in my office. Diego tried to pull her up, but she shook him off. I'll do anything. Counseling, therapy, whatever you want. I want the last 3 months back. Can you give me those? I made a mistake. 43 times. That's how many times you met him according to the messages. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. My coworkers weren't even pretending to work anymore. Maya on her knees, mascara running despite the waterproof label, begging in front of everyone. Don't send it to Sofia, Diego finally spoke, voice cracking. She doesn't deserve this. I laughed. Actually laughed. Now you think about what she deserves? My kids will learn their father's character. Better now than later. 11:58. I'll leave town, Maya bargained. Transfer to another salon, you'll never see me again. Carla manages 7 salons across the region. She'll want to know why her manager needs a transfer. 11:59. Maya stood up, grabbed my hands. Hers were shaking. Jonah, I love you. No. You love the stability I provided while you played. 12 o'clock. I hit send. Maya's phone exploded immediately. Carla calling. She declined. Carla called again. And again. Then Diego's phone rang. He looked at the screen, face going white. Sofia? He stepped into the corner, answered. Even from across the room, we could hear his wife's voice. Not yelling. Worse. Cold, controlled, done. Your brother's here with the papers. You have 1 hour to get your things. Baby, wait. Officer Rodriguez. You call me Officer Rodriguez now. 1 hour, or your belongings go to the curb. She hung up. Diego stared at his phone like it had bitten him. Maya's phone wouldn't stop. Text after text. She pulled it out, scrolling through the damage. Her staff group chat was exploding. Someone had already screenshotted her termination email from Carla, effective immediately, violation of moral turpitude clause. You destroyed everything, she whispered. No. I documented everything. You destroyed it. Security escorted them out. Maya turned at the door, mascara fully surrendered to gravity. The house. At least I'll get the house in the divorce. I smiled. My first real smile in months. There's something you should know about the house. The house was never yours, I said, watching realization dawn on her face. Grandma Ruth left it to me 2 years before we met. You never pushed to get on the deed because you assumed marriage meant automatic ownership. Maya's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Like a fish discovering it's been hooked. The prenup, she whispered. The one you signed without reading because you thought I was just a logistics guy with nothing to protect? Yeah. That one. Infidelity clause voids any claim to premarital assets. Diego grabbed her arm. Come on, we need to go. I furnished that house. I decorated. With my credit cards. I have receipts. Security stepped forward again. Maya let Diego pull her away, but her eyes stayed on me. Not with love or even hate. With the hollow look of someone watching their last safety net disappear. My assistant brought me coffee after they left. "You okay, boss?" "Better than I've been in months." Word travels fast in distribution centers. By 2 p.m., everyone knew. By 3 p.m., I had 17 messages of support from coworkers who'd apparently noticed Maya's attitude at company events. By 4 p.m., my director called me in. "Jonah, that was quite a scene earlier. I apologize for the disruption." "Are you kidding? Diego Morales has been underbidding our landscape contract for years. 2 birds, 1 stone." He slid a folder across the desk. "Regional Operations Director position. Been waiting for the right time. Consider this a battlefield promotion." 3 months later, I barely recognize my life. The house feels like mine again. I replaced the furniture she'd chosen, all style, no comfort. Got a leather sectional that actually fits my frame. Mounted the TV where I wanted it. Turned her yoga room into a legitimate home office. The divorce was surgical. 20 minutes in front of a judge. Maya showed up in a borrowed suit, no lawyer, couldn't afford one after Carla blackballed her from every decent salon in the state. She works at Quick Cuts now, the chain place in the strip mall 2 towns over. Minimum wage plus tips. Diego's landscaping business folded within 6 weeks. Sophia's brother made sure every commercial property manager in the county knew about his character. Last I heard, he was working maintenance at an apartment complex near the airport. Sophia took the kids, the house, and his truck. Apparently it was in her name for tax reasons. Funny thing about consequences, they compound. Maya's family still won't speak to her. Helen sent me a Christmas card with a note, "You'll always be the son-in-law I respected." Nora reached out last month, said Maya's living in a studio apartment above a pizza place. Wanted to know if I'd consider forgiving her. I told her forgiveness and reconciliation are different things. I forgive Maya. But she's a stranger to me now. I met someone. Thea Rodriguez, supply chain analyst from one of our partner companies. She came to troubleshoot a routing issue, stayed late working through the problem with me. No games, no drama. When she says she's working late, she sends photos of spreadsheets asking for input. When I had to cancel dinner for an emergency shipment, she brought Thai food to my office and helped solve the crisis. "You know what I love about you?" she said last week, unprompted, over breakfast. "My devastating good looks?" She laughed. "You say what you mean. No subtext, no tests. If something's wrong, you tell me directly. That's just basic communication. You'd be surprised how rare that is." Tonight, we're at the company's quarterly celebration. I'm receiving an award for operational excellence. My district has the lowest loss rate in the region. Thea's beside me, genuinely proud, introducing herself to my colleagues with easy confidence. My phone buzzes. Unknown number. "I'm sorry. Can we talk?" I show it to Thea. She doesn't grab my phone, doesn't demand explanations. Just raises an eyebrow. "Your ex?" "Yeah." "You going to answer?" Some messages don't deserve responses. I delete it, turn off my phone, and raise my glass as my director starts his toast. Around me, people who respect what I've built, not what I can provide. Real smiles, not performance. The Moonlight Inn was demolished last month. Saw it in the paper. They're building condos. Some foundations are too rotten to save. Better to clear the ground and build something real. That's the thing about logistics, you learn to recognize when a route isn't working. You don't keep driving toward a dead end. You chart a new course, optimize for efficiency, and never apologize for choosing the path that actually leads somewhere. My phone stays off for the rest of the night. Some people earn your attention. Others lose it forever. I know the difference now. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.